let's go ahead and get started. It's 7. We'll answer some questions, talk a little bit, introduce ourselves, and we are recording this virtual panel discussion just so that we can make it available to other people who might not be able to get on right now at 7 o'clock. But my name is Tana Ambrose, and of course I work at Lincoln Trail, and I'm the Director of College Access there. And a few weeks ago, we had a conversation at the college about how we could stay connected and get, our students in conversations over the summer about different topics that would just be helpful before school starts in the fall. And so if you're joining tonight, I appreciate it. And I just want to give everyone on the call a chance to introduce themselves. We've got a couple of faculty and staff from Lincoln Trail. We've got a couple of students who currently go to Lincoln Trail that have been asked to be on here to share kind of their stories. And then we have a couple of new students that will be coming in the fall. So it's just a great opportunity to meet people and get a good feel of some great tips before school starts in the fall. Hopefully we'll be kind of back more to normal and in some face-to-face situations, because the online stuff is getting pretty tricky, I know. And kudos to all the students who have been doing a great job hanging in there and doing these classes online. But Chris, would you go ahead and start, and then let's just popcorn around and introduce ourselves and get to know each other a little bit tonight.
Sure. So my name is Chris Ford. I am the coordinator of marketing and public information at Lincoln Trail College. I've been there for just over 5 years now.
Thank you. Okay, Cindy, you want to go next?
Sure. My name is Cindy Boyce, and I am an assistant professor of history, political science, and humanities, and I am also the Student Senate advisor.
Great, and good plug for Student Senate. We want to make sure we talk about that tonight. And let's go ahead, and how about Shayla, Lauren, and Maddie, and then we'll go after that.
Okay, I'm Shayla. I've been at LTC for 1 year, and I am starting nursing in the fall for 2 years.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I've been going to LT for about a year now, and I'm going for general eds.
Yes.
I'm Maddie. This is actually my first summer going to LTC that I'm not in high school. I went last summer, but I was still in high school. I plan on graduating next May and then transferring.
Awesome. All right, guys. Who wants to go first? How about you, Blake?
Hi, I'm Blake. I've been at LTC for a year. I also play baseball. I'm hoping to graduate my associates in business. And that's about it.
Thanks for being on here with us tonight.
Hello.
I'm Johnny. I've been to LTC for like a year, and I play baseball, and I'm majoring in sports management.
Awesome. Braden, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm Braden. I just finished my second year at LTC and majoring in music education. So.
Awesome. What are you going to do? What are your plans?
I'm going to EIU next. That's the plan for the fall.
Awesome. Jordan, hi.
Hello. I just completed my second year at LTC and got my associate's degree in science and arts. I'm gonna go ahead and major in music therapy at St. Mary of the Woods this fall.
Great. Okay, well, congratulations, graduates, all of the graduates that we have on the call tonight.
Thank you.
So right now, as it looks, we don't have any students except for Maddie coming into school, and that's great. Maddie's joined Maddie's been awesome because she's taken advantage of literally everything that we've had to offer, because she's really doing a good job of just seeing what's out there and preparing for school in the fall. So let's go ahead though and talk a little bit about ways to make the most of your college experience and share kind of things you got involved in that maybe not everybody even knows is a possibility at Lincoln Trail. And just take a little bit of time just everyone sharing their stories, because I think that even though Maddie is on here with us as a brand new student, I think that we all have something to glean from just, always sharing stories with one another and just kind of, again, connecting with other people from Lincoln Trail. So this time is valuable, and I think that it's just good for us to do that. So Lauren, would you mind starting? Would you mind being the kind of the first to go and just kind of talk about your story and things that you and I have talked about before, and anything else that you want to share too?
Okay. So when I first got accepted into LT, I was kind of on the edge about trying out for volleyball. And then I finally decided, I really wanted to try it. So I got a hold of the coach, and she let me come to some of the spring practices that they had. And I think it was April. And then, that really pushed me to decide, yeah, I want to do this. And by the end of April, I asked, hey, how do I go forward with this? And she was like, I really want you on the team, which really shocked me. I cried. So that was really nerve-wracking and exciting for me. And then when it finally happened, I was a little bit stressed because I was new to college. I was new to this practice every day for volleyball. And since I was the only one from my hometown coming, I didn't really have any friends. And I'm not one to go out there and say, hey, I'm not an outgoing person, but I asked a few people hey, do you want to, Snapchat and stuff. And I ended up meeting my best friend on the volleyball team. And then in the second semester before we went all online, I had a few classes with this one girl, and I was like, hey, you want to be friends? Because we have a lot in common. And she was like, yeah, and we're actually best friends now too. So
I love
that was a crazy ride.
That's definitely an awesome story for making the most of your college experience, because when you come from a small town and you're used to a lot of the same friends and you go where none of those friends are anymore, you really have to kind of just make the most of it and go out of your way to do that and out of your comfort zone. So I love that story, and I want to encourage other people with your story. So thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Let's see. I know, Chris, you got a couple of awesome students to be on the call who are involved in performing arts. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and maybe help them share their stories?
Sure. So I'll start with you, Jordan, because you and I have been in some shows together, and I know, both you and Braden have really taken advantage of basically everything that performing arts has to offer. So, Jordan, if you want to kind of start off with your story, because you came from a long way away from Robinson.
Okay, so I'll actually start with high school. In 2010, I graduated from North Pole High School in North Pole, Alaska. It is a real place, by the way.
Wow.
I throughout my whole high school career, I wouldn't say obsessed. I was very ecstatic with doing with learning music, singing it even, and I had to kind of drift away from that for a few years because I joined the military. I stayed in for 6 years, and I got out over in Columbus, Georgia. Didn't do a very good job over there, so I moved up into to Illinois, and then I talked with my uncle, and he told me that I had the best option to have to go back to college to go into college is to try out Lincoln Trail College. So I went in as a nursing major. After my first year as a freshman at LTC, I didn't feel that the nursing career was right for me. I felt overwhelmed, and at the same time, I felt like I was kind of betraying myself if I just gave up on music right there. And I've already been through so much with music. I've been in multiple shows. I've been in choir, I've been in choirs both on and off campus. I've done so much, and I didn't feel like I wanted to give up on it. So I talked with a few of my professors and a few of my few of my friends as well, and they, I want to say coincidentally, told me that the best option would be to go for a music therapy degree, or at least try and get started on that path. When I went into the music career, or I won't say the music career, when I went into the music classes, like the choirs and stuff, like I felt that I was part of something bigger. Like I was part of a family. We all cared about each other. We do our best to build each other up and make sure that that we do our best when it comes to putting out quality music and quality shows. And it's just the finished work for me isn't the fact, or for me, the finished work with what we give to the public isn't what we or isn't what we accomplished as ourselves, but rather what we did as a team. And like every single time, I was never disappointed with any of the music I produced, or with any of the music that we produced, any of the shows we produced. And then after the last show I did, we still keep in contact. And that's it. It's impressive to me, even.
I think you touched on something really important, and that's when you put yourself out there. And that even connects with what Lauren said, when you just kind of, make friends and just introduce yourself to other people and get out of your comfort zone. You literally can make lifelong friends, lifelong connections, shared experiences. So, and that is something I really want to stress and just encourage everyone to do, while they're in college. It's a great takeaway.
Braden, what about your experiences?
So, kind of a lot of the same of what Jordan said. I did music like all through high school, ever since I was a kid, and I took piano lessons from my grandma. I've done music for basically my whole life, and I was the kind of person in high school who didn't really like get out of my comfort zone and go out and try to make friends. But kind of what Tona was saying, whenever I got to college, nobody I knew was there. I didn't know a single person. And it was really the music program that kind of helped me find my comfort zone in college, and to and while that may have been my comfort zone, there was times I had to go out of my comfort zone for like auditioning for shows or auditioning for the music scholarship there. And I just think like choirs and the whole music department is like, if you want to make friends, like join a choir. Like that's one really good way to do that.
Oh yeah.
I love it. Johnny and Blake, how about you guys?
When I was in high school, I was looking for JUCOs to go to because I went to a showcase at another one, and they told me a bunch of positives to go in JUCO first. And so when that happened, I talked to my high school coach, and he knew Coach Bowers, and he told Coach Bowers to take a look at me. Coach Bowers invited me on a visit, and right when I left on my way home, I committed to go there because like Robinson and Ligacho had everything that I needed. I didn't need anything else. And, I came to campus, didn't know anyone because I committed for baseball, so I didn't know anyone. But then instantly when I got in to move in, I made like the whole team. It was like an instant, like click. Everybody was like really cool with each other. Everybody was a great friend. And my roommate is actually Blake. We only talked like maybe 2 weeks before we went to school. So when we went to school, we just agreed to be roommates because really that was the only person I knew somewhat. And when I got there, it was like it felt really, really nice to be there. It was like home.
I love it. And how did you guys connect, or how did you even find out that Blake was going to be your roommate, or did you have to kind of?
I think I saw like I think I saw Coach Bauer some post about him committing there, and like I committed there too.
Mhm.
So like I followed him on Twitter, and then we ended up talking a little bit, like just like where are you from? It's like normal conversation, get to know each other, and then we just started talking, and then we ended up being friends before we even went there. And he was the only person I really talked to most out of anybody there, so I felt most comfortable like living with him.
Mhm.
And we ended up being really good friends, and we roomed together, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna room together again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Blake, how about you?
Same way as Johnny. I was looking for a place to go, and then Coach Bowers reached out to me, said, "Come do a showcase at the place." So I came and did a workout. And they really liked me, and then I think I committed like 2 weeks later or something. But I mean, I really liked everything about Lincoln Trail, and that's why I decided to go there. And then same way when I got there, I like with baseball, that was the thing I surrounded myself with, and I really clicked with everybody, and including Johnny, and it was just a great experience. And I have like my best friend, like the best friends I've made to go to Lincoln Trail. They're on the baseball team.
Awesome. Shayla, let's hear from you a little bit, because we're from around here, and there are plenty of people, of course, at Lincoln Trail from your school and people that you know, but talk a little bit about how you are making the most of your college experience, and just kind of, I think the common theme is here, getting out of our comfort zones, because that seems to be the number one piece to, being able to make the most of your college experience. So talk a little bit about your experience.
So I started like doing dual credit classes my senior year, and because I just wanted to like get the feel for like what college classes were like. I even took a class with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I didn't want to go to a junior college. I wanted to go to a university to get the full experience at college, but LTC was what I could get paid for. And so I decided like why would I go somewhere else that's going to cost way more for nursing when I can just go there and get it almost for free for scholarships and stuff. So I went there and I started anatomy, and I put myself out there, but I'm also on the shy side. So I sat next to a random girl, didn't even know her. And then we became really good friends. And then another girl sat next to us, and then another girl. And so we all still talk. We're actually planning a girls' trip in July. And we're all going into nursing together. My biggest fear at LTC was Ann Roy. If anyone has had her,
Yeah.
They know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She was a rough one, but she truly did care about us, and she wanted us to pass. And so that's basically been my experience at LTC. I wish I would have made more friends, but I had other stuff going on in my life at the time, so I didn't. But I plan on next year making more friends. But That's it.
You ask lots and lots and lots of questions, and that's what I love, because that's part of it too. Making the most of your college experience is getting out of your comfort zone, introducing yourself to people, but also just asking lots of questions, different people. And I remember the conversation we had about Ann Roy, and I just encouraged you to go talk to her, and you did, and it made all the difference in the world. And so, that's awesome. We do have someone else who's trying to join the call and trying to get the sound on. So hopefully he'll be able to join. Cindy, did you have anything else you wanted to add, or just some things that you might want to share with the students?
I would just say, I kind of agree with what all the students have shared so far, is to definitely, get out of your comfort zone. The thing about college that really makes it, a memorable experience is when you get involved. And it's meeting new people. Sometimes in high school, we can kind of be in cliques in high school. And what's different about college is that sometimes, whether it's through a class you take, like Shayla was just describing there, whether it's being put together in a group project, or trying to survive a particular class together with your classmates, you begin to meet new people and become friends with people that, maybe you would have thought never would have been part of your friend group. Getting involved in theater, trying it out. If it was something that wasn't cool in high school, it's kind of like in college, everything's cool. Okay. Student Senate, I would say get involved in Student Senate. If any of you are looking for something to do, Student Senate gives you an opportunity to serve your student body. It's a great thing to have on your resume or your application when you are transferring to a four-year university. So that's definitely something to look into. Go to the games. One of the things that the whole time I've been there, this is my 15th year, one thing that I always questioned is, why don't we have bigger attendance at basketball games and things like that? Like, where's our fan base? Where's our student body? And I would say, get involved in those things as well. I know a lot of people have jobs and they work in the evenings, but just getting out there and enjoying the college experience. Yes, it is a junior college. It is a 2-year. For some of you, it's just, it's in your hometown. For some of you, it's not. But I would definitely make the most of it. Just going to your classes and going home isn't enough. You have to really kind of take a hold of that entire experience. As Johnny said, Johnny and Blake didn't know each other before LTC, and now they'll be friends for the rest of their life. So, Braden, I've had you in several classes, and I've seen the people that you have become friends with sitting in my classes, people that are not from the same town as you, people that maybe have different likes and interests than you, but you guys are, you guys all get along in class and are friends. And so, just, you don't know what's going to happen when you're in college. So really grasp that experience.
Awesome. I asked Kyler Sullivan to be on the call too. Kyler, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
All right. Kyler has a really cool story because he's going a little bit of what I would call kind of a non-traditional route for getting involved and making the most of his college experience. But it connects back to Lincoln Trail because I think he's going to kind of get ready to do something really awesome and experiential learning adventure that he'll tell you about. But hopefully then it will bring him back to Lincoln Trail. And because of what he's going to do, I think he'll end up getting his college paid for. And so he's making the most of this college experience by really going outside of the box and getting out of his comfort zone. And it's a program that I want him to share with everyone about because I think it's something that even more students might want to consider getting involved in. So Kyler, will you just kind of tell us your story and kind of how you came to the place that you're at and what you're getting ready to do?
Okay, so I'm going to be doing this program called AmeriCorps NCCC, and I will be on August 5th. I'll land in Sacramento, California, where I'll start my training, and I'll spend the next year living in quote unquote American poverty, which is less than $10 a day. And I'll be put on a team and we'll pretty much travel the western side of the country since I'm in the Pacific region. And we'll do anything from disaster relief to with the protests and riots going on right now, I'll imagine I'll be in the cities helping rebuild the cities, or with the hurricane that's on the South Coast right now, I think I might get sent to that. But so I'll spend this whole year doing this. And then when I get back, I can get up to $6,500 in college funds, and you can go as many years as you want until you're 24. Now, I don't know if you can continue to like repeatedly get that college fund, but $6,500 is going to pay for definitely the rest of my LTC. So
I love it because I had Kyler in class and Pathways and leadership class, and we just had a lot of conversations. I don't think Kyler really knew exactly for sure what, field he wanted to go into. Like a lot of students who come to college just kind of undecided, trying to figure it out. And this is a program that Kyle did some research on and really felt like would help him in kind of figuring those things out. And so I just think it's phenomenal. And I wanted him to share that. And Kyle, how did you even end up stumbling upon this program or even learning about it?
So I did not know what I wanted to do, and I still don't. So, but I definitely want my associate's degree. So I did a lot of, because I want to travel in my life, like a lot. So I found whatever way I could to travel and still go to school. So I just did a lot of research, stumbled upon it because I want to do Peace Corps at some time in my life, and they recommended that I do AmeriCorps first. And so, and that's how I came across AmeriCorps, because I mean, there's plenty of ways to travel, but if you're a college student and you want to travel and still be able to pay college and go to school, this is, I'd say, definitely the best route.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Maddie, you have a lot of people on this call who have shared a really diverse group of stories. And so, everybody's story is different. Everyone's an individual, and how they make the most of their college experience is different. But we've heard from so many people who just kind of got out of their comfort zones and went for it. So do you have any questions, though, for us? Because these are friends now. These are students that you'll see on campus in the fall. And as you get ready to kind of jump in with both feet and be a full-time college student, have you thought of anything or any questions that you have for any of us on the panel tonight?
I don't really think I have any questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, you've heard a lot of, encouraging stories and ways to get involved, but that's not everything. I mean, we have other things too at Lincoln Trail, but I really appreciate everyone's time. And would anybody else like to add anything else or share anything else before we kind of button up our conversation tonight?
So, Tana, this isn't exactly a Lincoln Trail thing, but this is kind of talking a little bit about my own college experience and involvement and how that sort of changed my whole trajectory in what I was going to do. So when I went to college, I was really pretty set on, I wanted to be on TV. That's what I wanted to do. I really dreamed of honestly being on ESPN. That's what I wanted to do. And I knew when I got to DePaul, which is where I went, that getting onto the student TV station was probably going to take a little bit of time before I could do that. And I had sort of sat back and I had accepted that and just was ready to, wait. And one of my good friends said, hey, why don't we go over to the college radio station and see what that's all about? So this was probably our second or third day on campus after we had moved in, and went over there, got involved, and that honestly led me to a 15-year career in radio at that point. I fell in love with it right away, and decided I like that better than TV, and that's what I wanted to do for a career. And it's one of those things, the reason I bring that up, and, I think about like Jordan and Braden, who are both going into music in different ways, but, they found something that they're very passionate about. They've gotten involved in that at Lincoln Trail College, and they're going to be making a career out of something that they love. And, college is a great opportunity to explore those different things that you might be interested in doing. And, now you never know when it might lead to a career, certainly lasting friendships. I've done some performing arts, and, when they talk about it being very close and family, I had heard that before. I was a little skeptical at first because, I thought, oh, that's just something people say. And then once I got to actually experience that, I mean, it's an amazing bond when you get in there and meet people from, different diverse backgrounds, where you do have that common goal of putting on the best show that you can. And I mean, that is such a bonding experience and a way to make friends. And, someone that has been involved in sports in different ways through my life, it's the same for our athletes too. There are incredible bonds that come with that. So there's so many different ways that you can get involved, and, definitely take advantage of it.
Yes. And I want to add too, I want to, again, just applaud everyone on the call for doing all the different things that you're doing and the ways you're getting involved, because it also is a fantastic way that you're building your resumes. Over the years, I have done honestly hundreds of interviews with students, and I'm always kind of drawn to those resumes and those students who have a list of extracurricular activities that they were involved in college, things that they were involved in, the theater, the sports, just the, like Kyler's program, all the different extras that are on those resumes that really tend to set you apart from other people who maybe just showed up for classes, took classes, and went home and really didn't get involved. I think that's where you learn a lot about yourself and make those connections. And so I applaud you for doing that. Keep doing that. Keep expanding that resume, because that will pay dividends in the very near future. I'm sure it has already. But
hey, Tana, I have something I want to add too before you say goodbye to everybody.
Please do.
Okay. It's not really something I want to add. It's something that I want to ask. And I'm sorry if there's a lot of noise in the background. My dogs decided now it's a good time to wrestle with each other. And they have to do it right under my feet. So, but for those of you that are returning, 1, 2, 3, 4 of you, it looks like, and Maddie, it'll be your first semester there as a college student and not a dual credit student. One thing that Student Senate is, there's a couple of things that we're looking at working on. They were projects that we were hoping to work on before the end of the school year, and then everything just kind of fell apart with us going on. And Coach Bowers, again, is walking his dog through the neighborhood. So, but two things we were working on. One, we're going to be making some changes this upcoming year. Judy retired from the cafeteria. And so one of the questions that the business office had brought to Student Senate is, what are some things that you would like to see changed in the cafeteria? Whether it's food that is being offered to you, your food choices, hours of operation. What would you guys like to see that would make the cafeteria more a place that you would like to go and eat every day? Go around the room here. And Shayla, are you driving while you're on this call?
It's like down here. I gotta go to work. I can't be late.
So, Lauren, you're up in my corner and you're on the top, so I'll ask you first. What are some things that you would like to see in the cafeteria? And the second thing, so we'll just knock them both out at the same time, is the bookstore. What would you like to see in the bookstore, especially you nursing students? I know you don't really get a chance to go to the cafeteria. So Lauren, I'll start with you.
About the cafeteria, I lived at home, so I never really went to the cafeteria, maybe like a couple times. So I don't really have any input on anything that needs to change, because I never really ate in there or went in there to hang out, just because I was either in class, practice, or at home.
Okay.
For the bookstore, I don't know. I mean, I'm really kind of like a souvenir type person. So when I first got accepted into LT, I wanted to go to the bookstore and like get all kinds of LT gear, but I couldn't really, there was like some things, but like not a lot like I thought there would be.
Okay. All right. Shayla, since you're going to work and you are a nursing student this upcoming year, which means you don't have a lot of free time on your hand to run over to the cafeteria and wait on food, what would you like to see in the cafeteria or bookstore?
Well, I didn't go to the cafeteria anyway, and I really didn't go to the bookstore because if I snack, I'm going to turn into a little fatty. So I probably still won't go. But like,
you still
I know
have
they had,
to
like,
eat.
but I know that they had like good candy in there, so like that's good enough for me.
Okay. So Blake and Johnny, who wants to go first?
I've been to the cafeteria. I mean, not like a whole bunch. Like if I need to get something to eat before, like in between classes or something, or like if there's like some baseball like right after that class, I'll go and get food. And I mean, I couldn't really complain about anything in there. I liked all the stuff in there. There's a big selection of stuff you can get, like for breakfast and for the lunch in there. So I really don't have anything to complain about the cafeteria at all.
Okay. We weren't looking for complaints, just anything that you would like to see or something. So.
Oh yeah, I'm the same way. I wouldn't really change anything in the cafeteria. I really liked everything that was going on over there. And the same with the bookstore. The bookstore was a great place to, if you wanted a snack in between classes and didn't have enough time to go to the cafeteria, just walk into the bookstore and get snacks.
Okay. All right. Jordan or Braden, I know you guys are leaving, but is there anything that you would?
Honestly, there wasn't much I'd change about it. Jordan and I usually would hang out in there if we had an hour or two gap worth of time. We'd just sit in there and grab a bite to eat and just kind of chill until the next class. But yeah.
All right.
Maddie,
Chris, do you have anything to add? These were our projects that we have to continue into this new year. I know some of the requests that we've gotten in the past have been things like healthier choices. Those have been some options, or those are some ideas, or having some grab things in the bookstore, like already made salads or something like that. That especially the nursing students are requesting these things. I can just run down there and grab a salad or something like that, or a sandwich, and head back to my nursing classes. So, but what were you going to say, Chris?
I was going to say, the one thing that I'd love to see with the cafeteria is, sometimes when I head over there, I am in a bit of a hurry. So I love the cook-to-order food, but there are times where it'd be nice if I could just get in and get out without having to wait around that much.
Gotcha. Some more grab-and-go items.
Yeah.
Tana, I see you shaking your head.
I'm just surprised no one said Chick-fil-A. Nobody said add Chick-fil-A. Maddie, how about you?
That's a good one.
I know. That's what I would add.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Maddie, though, you've spent a lot of time as a dual enrollment student and now as a summer student. So is there anything that you would add? You've been out there enough to definitely have input on this too. So anything that you might want to see added or done differently that we could implement even as you're a student at Lincoln Trail?
I don't really have any input on the cafeteria. I've never got food in there, and I think I've been in there maybe once. But the bookstore, I really like how it's set up in there, and I like everything in there. I think you said the pre-made salads. I think those would be a good idea because I'm the type of person just to grab it and eat it while I'm doing homework in between classes. So I definitely think that would be a good idea.
Okay, very good. And then there's the last thing is there anything that you guys would like to see that you think would improve campus life? One request we had last year that we had started on, and then all this came to an end, is an outdoor seating area that's kind of a hangout place, besides a couple of tables with some umbrellas. But somewhere where you can actually sit outside on a nice day and study, or if you live on campus, someplace that you could just hang out, after classes or after practices and stuff. What do you guys, is there anything that you guys think would enhance campus life?
I think a commons area, a hangout place is a great idea.
Yeah, I agree with the hangout area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We had talked about maybe putting either the triangle or something down by the lake, that's more of just a common area where people can sit around and, hang out, do whatever. So.
Cindy, can I ask you a question? And if somebody is interested in getting involved in Student Senate, or they just want to know more about it, how does that work?
All they have to do is come and talk to myself or Mr. Thorson, and we can give you the information, or just talk to your advisor, and your advisor can add it to your schedule for the fall. You get 1 credit hour And Chris, I don't know if you know this or not. I'm not sure if it's still, it was one free credit hour. It was a tuition-free credit hour. I would have to check with all the changes we've had in the last year if it's still a free credit hour, but it is one free credit hour, and that's each semester. So at the end of the year, you would have 2 credit hours. It is repeatable, so you can do it all 4 semesters that you were there. And they can just add it. We meet once a week on Thursdays at 11 o'clock. And that's it. Our most successful year of, and this is where I'm looking at the student athletes in the group. We have 3 of them here. Our most successful year since Mr. Thorson and I have been doing Student Senate was about 5 years ago. We had about 17 members. That's the most we've ever had. And more than half of them were student athletes. Our president and our vice president that year were actually both baseball players. And one went on to business school at the University of Michigan. He was our president. Went on to play at the University of Michigan and went into their business program. The other one became a teacher. But we had volleyball players. It was the first year of volleyball that year, I think. We had basketball players. We had baseball players. We had statesman singers. We had one nursing student. I mean, we just had an array. We even had we had 3 international students who joined Student Senate that year. And so that was really our most successful year. And I say successful because we had like every part of the student body represented on Student Senate. We had singers, we had theater people, we had athletes, we had students who were just going to school and weren't involved in any of those extracurriculars. So we had kind of a wide array of students there. And so I would just say this is a great opportunity to get involved and be a part of improving the campus. The projects that we have done in the last 5 years, some of you, I don't know if any of you remember what it looked like, but I don't think any of you would have seen it beforehand. But the student lounge over by the cafeteria, 5 years ago, the student lounge looked like it was something out of a Brady Bunch movie. It was orange. The furniture was orange and black. Leather, and it really looked like it hadn't, that's how they set it up in the 1960s, and they never changed it since then. So that student lounge today with the new ping pong table, the foosball tables, the giant TV, the couches, the chairs, I mean, all of that was Student Senate. We painted, put in new floors, and completely redid all of that. Let's see here. A couple of other things that Student Senate has been a part of. The meal plan. Your parents can now buy meal plans to add to your student IDs so that you can eat in the cafeteria. We are working on trying to allow that to also be used in the bookstore. That's something we've been working on this year with Dr. Gower, so that you guys can just swipe your student IDs in the bookstore as well. Let's see. The LT, it disappeared in the last year. Hopefully it will be back this upcoming year, but there are photographs of it, so it did exist. But in the triangle, we had the welding department make this giant LT, the LT logo that we use for athletics, and is it now just our official logo altogether, right, Chris?
Yes, it is.
And it was painted green, and it was beautiful, and it was awesome. And then they took it down to repaint it, and we've never seen it again since then. So that is something that we are hoping to have back up soon this fall. So those are just different projects that we've done. We've really been involved in trying to improve campus, and this is a chance for you to become a part of that. We try to plan some fun activities. This past year, I will be honest, we didn't get a lot of activities planned this year. Our biggest thing of the year is Craze Days, which always happens at the end of April, and of course that did not happen. So we are currently planning, I've already talked to Dr. Gower, praying that we are back on campus in August. We are planning a big, we used to do a thing called Welcome Back. And it was what was it called, Chris? The Welcome Back Blast.
Yep.
That's what it was, the Welcome Back Blast. And we used to do that, and Student Senate hasn't done that the last few years. But we've talked about, since we have not been around each other for so long, of doing that this year, the first Saturday that you guys are back on campus. And it'll be August 22nd. As long as we stay on the current schedule, August 22nd, and it's a big giant cookout with all kinds of games, and we have businesses from the communities come out and set up tables, and you get freebies and advertisements from them, coupons and whatever. We had the radio station out, WTYE, our radio station would come out and play music, and it's just a big giant fun fest on campus, and talked to Dr. Gower about that and already got the okay for us to do that again this year. Since we didn't spend any money on Craze Days, we have all this extra money now, so we're going to spend it on a Welcome Back Blast. So this is just a chance, Student Senate's a chance for you to be a part of that. Blake, you were participated in the one fun thing that we got to do last year, which was for homecoming, and that was the Statesman Scavenger Hunt. We're going to do that again this upcoming year. Johnny, did you do that too? Were you on their team?
No, I wasn't on their team.
It was you. It was Blake, Corey. Who was the other person, Blake?
It was me, Corey, and Joey Perkins.
Oh, Joey, that's right. Okay. Yeah, so we last year was the first year we did the scavenger hunt, and it actually went over better than we've anticipated. Everybody seemed to really be enjoying themselves. It was a mad dash. We've seen students running all over campus trying to be finished first, and it was Blake's team that finished first. And I think we ended up with like 9 teams that participated, and it was a lot of fun. We got a lot of great feedback, and so we're going to plan that again this year. It's kind of a mix of an escape room mixed with a little bit of fear factor and the Amazing Race. Think of it as like all of those things mixed together, and it was really popular, and so we're going to plan that and hopefully make it bigger and better this year. So lots of fun activities, and Student Senate's a great way for you to be a part of that.
Thank you. That is awesome. And so now you know how to get involved in all the different things that we have coming up, and just we want student input. And so it's definitely an opportunity to make the most of your college experience by having a voice in some of the things that take place on campus. And so I do want to let everyone go for the evening. We've taken up your time, and we appreciate you just getting on here. It's just nice to see your faces and just kind of feel like we're connecting, because I miss my students. I miss being on campus. I miss seeing everybody. And, it's been since March. And so I really appreciate you getting on tonight. And we are doing this again in 2 weeks. We'll have another conversation. And so if you could just plan to be back with us again. I appreciate the panelists. I appreciate Maddie, you getting on here again tonight. And again, I congratulate those of you who are moving on to the 4-year level, and those coming back, and then those coming into school for the first time. So thank you so much. And watch our social media pages, because Chris is just doing a fantastic job of posting every Tuesday, kind of a tip, 2-minute Tuesdays we call it, different students who are sharing things that I think are very helpful and valuable. And then on Fridays, we're doing Faculty Fridays, and it's just a 2-minute clip so you can get to know some of the faculty a little bit better and some fun things about them before you get back to campus this fall. So look for those, watch those posts that Chris puts out. And at any time, if you have questions or if you have an idea for something that we should talk about, you just get a hold of us, Cindy or Chris or myself. We'd love to hear from you, students, what you think that incoming might benefit from. We'd like to hear that from you too. So thanks again, and everyone have a great rest of the week, and I'll look forward to seeing you all back in 2 weeks. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.